Way back in 1956, a radio host named Earl Nightingale recorded this speech called The Strangest Secret. It actually became the first spoken word record to sell over 1 million copies, which is wild to think about. Today, we're going to break down that single, timeless idea into a powerful mental framework you can start using, like, right now. So let's kick things off with a little puzzle that's really at the heart of his whole message.
And that puzzle starts right here. I mean, if you ask pretty much anyone, they'll tell you they want to be successful, right? Especially when we're young, we're all full of these big dreams and ambitions. But somewhere along the way, this huge gap opens up between what people say they want and what they actually achieve.
And the size of that gap? It's pretty shocking, actually. It really all comes down to this one number, 5%. Just 5% of people ever really achieve the goals they set out for. So you gotta wonder, what on earth is happening to everybody else?
Nightingale asks us to do this little thought experiment. Imagine 100 people, all starting out in their careers at age 25. You know, they're bright, they're full of energy, and every single one of them is absolutely convinced they're going to win at life. But if you fast forward 40 years and check in on that same group, the results are, well, they're sobering. The real question is, where does it all go wrong?
And here's the breakdown. By the time they hit 65, only one of those 100 people is going to be rich. 4 will be financially independent, which is great, but 5 of them will still be working, not because they want to, but because they have to. And an absolutely staggering 54 will be broke, totally dependent on others. That's 95 out of 100 who just don't make it.
So what's the deal? According to Nightingale, the single biggest reason for this widespread failure is conformity. It's that simple. People just look around, they see what the other 95% are doing, and they just fall in line. They start to believe that their lives are shaped by things outside of their control, by stuff that just happens to them, instead of realizing that they're the ones holding the steering wheel.
And that leads us right to the answer, the key that unlocks the door to that top 5%. Nightingale called it the strangest secret for a reason, because even though this idea has been around for centuries, it seems like hardly anyone really gets it or, more importantly, actually uses it.
Now, this is not some new self-help fad. Not at all. This is a principle that has been talked about again and again and again by the wisest minds in history. We're talking philosophers, emperors, spiritual leaders. They all independently arrived at the exact same conclusion.
All right, here it is. The strangest secret, the core of this entire framework, is just this. We become what we think about. That's it. Whatever you hold in your mind day in and day out on a consistent basis, that is what you will move towards and eventually create in your actual life. It's a fundamental law.
And I mean, look at this. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius said it. The philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson said it. William James, the father of American psychology, said it. It's this one golden thread that runs through all of history. It's maybe the only thing that all these great thinkers were in complete unanimous agreement on.
Okay, we become what we think about. It sounds good, sure, but how? How does that actually work? What's the real mechanism behind this law? Well, to get it, let's use a really powerful analogy.
I want you to think of your mind as a piece of incredibly fertile land. Now, the land, it doesn't care what you plant in it. You could plant a seed of corn, or you could plant a seed of a deadly poison like nightshade. The land will take that seed, nurture it, and return to you exactly what you planted, but in abundance. Your mind works on the exact same principle.
It's a law as old as time, right? Your mind is this neutral but unbelievably powerful tool. So if you consistently plant thoughts of success, of a specific goal, of clarity, that is what it's going to grow for you. But if you plant thoughts of confusion, fear, worry, and doubt, well, it will return those results just as faithfully. The choice of what seed to plant, that's entirely up to you.
So, if your mind is going to grow whatever you plant, the most important question you can possibly ask is this: what seed are you going to plant? This is where we start applying the framework, and it all begins with one single, absolutely non-negotiable element: a goal.
Nightingale uses this brilliant analogy of 2 ships. Imagine a ship leaving a harbor. It has a captain, a crew, a detailed map, and a clear destination. That ship will reach its port 9,999 times out of 10,000. Now imagine another ship, same harbor, but with no captain, no crew, no destination. It's just adrift. It's either going to sink or end up as a wreck on some deserted beach. A person with a goal is the first ship. A person without one is the second.
And this totally reframes how we should even think about success. See, it's not some final destination you arrive at.
Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. That means the second you decide on a goal and start moving towards it, you are a success. The person who knows where they're going is already successful. The person who's just drifting, that's the one who's failing.
So let's put this all together. How do you take this secret and actually turn it into a practical tool you can use every single day? Well, the source material lays out a super clear 3-step action plan to build your own personal framework for success.
It's really this simple. First, you have to plant your seed. Decide on one single definite goal. Seriously, just one. Write it on a card. This is the destination for your ship. Second, you have to nurture your mind. Every single day, think about that goal. You have to consciously replace thoughts of fear and worry with images of your destination. And third, act as if. In your mind, see yourself as having already achieved it. Feel what that success feels like. This literally rewires your brain to make it a reality.
You've got to remember that your mind is like this giant, powerful, earth-moving machine. I mean, it can create anything, move any obstacle, and unearth riches you can't even imagine. But it needs a driver. It needs someone to tell it where to go. And that driver is you. You are in control of the whole thing.
So in the end, it all comes down to this one simple question. You are sitting at the controls of the most powerful machine on the planet. You can either just fold your arms and let it drift into a ditch, or you can firmly grab the controls, pick a worthwhile destination, and pour all of that incredible power into getting there. The choice is yours.